Well, hey, welcome to the show before the show, where I check to make sure everything's working. I'm your host, Patrick, your local game guy. This co-host Will, fellow local gamer.
Yep.
Not much, dude. Chilling. Been looking at Avatar cards. I haven't rewatched this series, but it's been on my mind. I revisited Korra for whatever reason, but I haven't watched The Last Airbender. Um, Korra was fine. It gets a lot of hate. I'm assuming the next Avatar set, if we do revisit, will be Korra.
Probably.
Yeah, which I'm down for, frankly. I mean, better that than like the live action movie, so I'm told. But today we're covering the set that covers the Nickelodeon TV show that some of us might have grew up with, Last Airbender. It's great. They did a good job. Kudos. I think that the flavor for the set works really well. If you don't know, there's benders in it, and we got abilities that play along with those effects. So we are doing, if you couldn't tell from the thumb and the title, a coverage of all the cards you should be picking up from the set if you're looking to purchase singles and or you're going to pre-release this weekend and you happen to stumble upon these cards in your collection, someone else's, something you can trade for. That'll be good in your commander's arsenal. We haven't gotten one of those in a while, but your singles for deck updating, basically. And we're coming at this from the perspective of cEDH players, but we're probably going to note a few things that are good in a casual setting as well. So, everything's bracketed these days. So there's a spectrum, but everything we discuss should be good for a commander setting. If we happen to miss anything, let us know. If we happen to avoid some legendaries, I know Will's going to cover more legendaries than I. That's because we're covering all of those legendaries in a tier list this weekend. So if you want to follow us for that and help us construct it, I would suggest just following the channel, the bell, the notifier, or just put the video up in a tab on your browser and have it there for when it's Saturday morning. We're going through these in Wooburg order, multicolor, and then colorless and land. Pretty simple. Thoughts, Will?
Uh, Enjoy the set. It looks pretty good. I've had a couple things that I wanted to brew from this that just look pretty interesting, and I like all of the bending except for firebending. Firebending is the most unfortunate type of bending in my
You know
opinion.
what's funny? Firebending is actually my favorite form of bending. And someone was like, on our Electro stream, they were asking us if we could revisit Electro with all the new firebenders. And I'm like, oh, that's actually kind of a cool idea to just like charge up the battery with all those new firebenders. I feel like going
Yeah,
a casual route with Electro and like mass firebenders could be pretty dope too. Some of them would be good in a competitive setting. Hey, Trixie. So, guys,
I,
well, good.
one thing that I've realized from the show that I had to laugh about is none of the bending styles are actually what you think they would be in like a this bending is most used for that kind of thing because I had a walk through with a friend and I'm like, huh. Yeah, if you think like what bending is the best at killing somebody, you'd think like fire bending, like it's from the aggressive guys, but really it's like earth bending or it's like water bending or it's like earth bending pretty much because it's like, well, how easy is it to kill somebody with fire? Surprisingly very hard unless you are concentrating fire on them.
Yeah.
How easy is it to kill someone with water? Accidentally drowning them is the most common way to do it. How easy is it to kill someone with air? Surprisingly not very. How easy
I
is it
mean,
to kill somebody with
literally,
earth? Very. You're dropping a rock the size of a truck on them. They are dying.
yeah, it's odd how that works. So maybe that's what the Fire Lord is. He's just trying to prove something, really, with fire bending.
Yeah,
He's
the
he's
Fire Nation were secretly
overcompensating.
the guys who were trying to stop the Earth Nation because they're secretly the real threat.
Yeah. So, guys, if you're familiar with Avatar, great. Feel free to tell us your favorite cards as we're going through here. And again, if we miss anything, feel free to let us know. It's been a while. On a side note, sorry about that. It's been about 2 weeks we've been absent, but we're gonna keep on keeping on as we go into the latter half of this year. Our next set should be a universes within set too. So guess I'm excited to talk about something within the realm of magic. I know a lot of folks aren't super, over the moon about all of the universes beyond stuff. And it's really going to be from an IP level, like if you're interested in it. And I like avatars. So, on that note, I'm going to start with some cards in white, and then I will let Will follow up. White, surprisingly, has the most cards from me. I'm a more rigorous grader if you've ever seen
Once
these.
finally good enough.
Yeah, and blue, it's the opposite. Has the least amount of cards from me, barring multicolored. But yeah, we're gonna touch on Aang's iceberg real quick. I don't think waterbending's that great, but this card's pretty damn good. Uh, 3 CMC, a little high, but overlook that for now. 2 generic and a white enchantment flash. When this enchantment enters, exile up to one other target non-land permanent until this enchantment leaves the battlefield. Okay, that's not so bad. And it's flexible with the flash, but there's more. You can waterbend 3, sacrifice this enchantment if you do scry 2. So a little bit of card quality mixed with your removal effect. But also, this is really interesting in a situation where, because the waterbending can happen at instant speed as well, where you're removing, say, a stacks piece that's sort of hampering your ability to effectively play, you could give that right back to your opponent at a moment's notice with the waterbending aspect. And waterbending 3 sounds like a lot, but remember, you can use artifacts and or creatures to help you pay for it. This also includes non-token versions and non-token versions, I should say. So it's actually easy to do that. So yeah, really, really flexible removal. I like Aang's iceberg quite a bit. I don't know if you have thoughts on this one.
I like Aang's iceberg, but for a completely different reason. But first off, everything that you said, but the other really good thing is it's exile up to one other target non-land permanent until this leaves, meaning it's an Abdel combo card.
Oh.
It's one of the good ones. It does good work.
This actually
For
works.
those who don't know, the
Yeah, I was
Abdel
gonna
combo
say.
is you have Abdel, exile a Fiend Hunter effect, and then you have a Fiend Hunter effect, exile Abdel, which will return the first Fiend Hunter effect, exiling the second, returning Abdel, exiling the first, returning the second, exiling Abdel, and then you just do a whole loop, and Abdel flickers your entire board infinite times, giving you infinite 1/1s. This is another really good card that does that.
And we have a new one. What's the critical mass? Like, how many of these effects are you looking for in an Abdel list? Abdel is he's not partner, but he has
Surprisingly, like as many as you
he does
can
a
cram into the deck. Like if I can make an Abdel deck that's like counter spells ramp and then every single one of these effects that I can cram into the deck, I honestly would do that because these are surprisingly decent removal effects. So
yeah.
it's like, oh no, I'm running like some subpar removal, but I'm also running all the good removal.
Yeah.
And then I'll combo off by accident. The more of these, the merrier. The issue that we've been having is all of them have either said exile something an opponent controls,
Right, right, right,
or
right, right, right.
they've said
What about you?
it's either exile something an opponent controls, or it's or like a really high cost thing. Like they've always been like 5 or more mana. So we got another 3 cost. All good.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Also, just a sick card to begin with. It's the very beginning of the show. Aang and an iceberg. Yeah, I can use as a flicker as well, for sure. It's funny, but I don't really think in terms of Abdel. But thank you
I
for
will
coming in
always
with
think
that.
in terms of Abdel because I look at every Banisher Priest Fiend Hunter effect that comes up and I'm like, why couldn't this let me target my own things? Come on,
Yeah,
Wizards.
it's funny. I mean, playing Oswald for so long, I look at sets solely for their artifacts sometimes. It's like, what new artifacts do I have that I can like upgrade into? You know what I mean? Or use like birthing pod into, basically. My next card is there's a few of these. There's a cycle. This one's pretty darn good. They're all pretty good, honestly. Airbender Ascension for a generic and a white enchantment. When this enchantment enters, airbend up to one target creature. This could be yours, it could be your opponent's. Whenever a creature you control enters, put a quest counter on this enchantment. At the beginning of your end step, if this enchantment has 4 more quest counters on it, exile up to one target creature you control, then return to the battlefield under your control. It's actually quite good for 2 CMC. I don't think it's going to be difficult to get those quest counters on here. By itself, it's just a 2 mana. I don't know. You could call it pseudo removal. Basically, they have to pay 2 generic to bring the thing back, you or them, if you target your opponent's thing. I find it to be quite good. It's another, what do you say, Conjurer's Closet? Is that the at the beginning of your end
Yeah,
step one?
that's yeah.
It's another Conjurer's Closet, basically, for your arsenal. I like it. I don't know that I have any decks for it, but I'm sure there are plenty of decks where you're just creating creatures that will trigger this, and you'll get this to go off very easily. And if you have ETBs or LTBs that are relevant, you will savor those.
Yep. It's also, this is just a generally good removal piece. Like 2
Yeah.
mana temp exile thing, unless it's controller pace 2, is pretty nice. So I like it. It's a little bit of removal and a whole lot of value for 2 mana.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, speaking of Airbender's Reversal is very good for that as well at 2 mana. I didn't write that one down, but I thought about it. I wouldn't say it's like game changing. Okay. And the next card I want to bring up is a little bit further on down the list. I'm going to go through mine, and then Will, you can pick up the slack, and then you guys can pick up the slack for both of us if we missed anything. Avatar's Wrath. I like this one a bit. 2 generic, double white for a sorcery speed spell. Choose up to 1 target creature, then airbend all the other ones. Until your next turn, your opponents can't cast spells from anywhere other than their hands. Exile Avatar's Wrath. So, like I said, when they're exiled, the owners can cast them for 2 generic rather than paying its mana cost. Okay, so that hampers them quite a bit. But the flip side of this, making it so they can't cast spells from anywhere other than their hand, is just a flat out good effect, right? Obviously, this does affect you somewhat. If you have a bunch of creatures that are relevant to your game plan, then you'll get to keep one, but you're stifling everyone else while keeping them restricted to their hands, which is really great because there's a lot of decks that play from exile, play from graveyard. You get it. You're going to hamper them. So, pretty solid removal all in all. I say removal. It's pseudo removal, but so far as rats go, this is a really interesting take. I like it.
Yeah, it's good. Just even ignoring the fact of like this is kind of a board wipe, this is also just a lot of value. Like
Mm-hmm.
you get to replay your whole board if you have an ETB based deck. This is like a selective flicker that's also a board wipe.
Yeah, yeah.
It's good.
This will
Good.
this will be the
Also,
this will be the wrath for that list for sure. I mean, I'm saying this like it's a bad thing. Like you can obviously recast those things, but if you have ETB creatures, great.
if you want to give somebody crippling PTSD, let
Hmm.
somebody build up an entire board, play a rule of law, and then airbend everything but your rule of law effect, and then watch it everybody just go,
Yeah,
gonna take 7 turns to get everything back.
Eidolon of Rhetoric. Enjoy, enjoy.
It's funny, Eidolon of Rhetoric, I think, is the worst one now because we
Mm-hmm.
got
Archon of
Archon of
Emeria.
America, we have Phyrexian Censor, which are
Yeah,
both like brutally, like significantly more brutal.
I feel like you. I mean, depending on the deck, you might run all of them. You probably stick with those
Yeah.
last two though. At any rate, my third to last card. Again, white had the most for me. Lessons really got an upgrade, by the way, this set. They're actually actively very good. Some of them are just flat out better than like their equivalents, non-lesson equivalents, which is crazy to say because up until now the subtype lesson has been like relegated to
Yeah,
overcosted
that's
effects.
right.
Yeah, they've been bad. But enter the Avatar state. What a great way to break in a lesson. For a white, instant speed. Until end of turn, target creature you control becomes an avatar in addition to its other types, gains flying, first strike, lifelink, and hexproof. So for me, this really just reads as a mono white or dual colored way to protect a thing. Or if you have a relevant attack, this is evasion in a sense with the flying. Avatar typing is less relevant. We're predominantly here for the hexproof. Obviously, wouldn't this be great if it could target non creatures? Yeah, but we can't get it all. But for a 1 cost lesson, it's pretty damn good in the uncommon slot. I like it quite a bit.
Yeah, I mean, just 1 mana instant speed gives something hexproof is good. Also, I have a lot of lesson stuff on my list just because I'm like inadvertently, hey, lessons are actually playable from this set, so you might incidentally have X amount of lessons in your
Yeah,
graveyard for cards that care about that.
yeah, they're good now. Great job, great job making lessons playable.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I lied. I have 3 more white cards. So this one's not great. This one's not. This one's. I'm just highlighting it because it's a caustic caterpillar haywire might effect that you may want to run depending on your list. Inspired insurgent. It's always good to see bodies that let you remove things. It's a generic and a white creature, 2/2. You pay one, sacrifice this, destroy target artifact or enchantment. Pretty simple. Obviously, caustic caterpillar costs 1 and does 2 for the effect, so kind of similar in a sense. You're paying the mana up front for a cheaper cost in the back end. It's good.
Yeah, it's a worse Cathar Commando, but Cathar Commando is good enough to play in a lot of decks, so a worse version is still playable. So go for it.
Yeah, not
I,
bad.
I built I built something recently that wanted all of the sacrifice creature effects that you can run in Azorius. It was the Final Fantasy card that when you cast a non-creature spell for the first time each turn, return a creature from your grave that costs the same cost as that card.
Mm-mm-mm.
So it was like 2 cost tribal, and this would definitely go in that just because it's like, I keep getting back the creatures that'll blow stuff up. Enjoy suffering.
Wait, what was the? Do you remember the name of that legendary?
No, I
Okay.
would not. There are so many legendaries from that set, man. Don't take me back,
That's
Patrick.
okay. We've got a lot from this one too, man. How many do we have from this set?
I think it's like 68. The thing was Final Fantasy had like 250.
Did it really?
Yeah.
That has to be a record. Like I don't know if we're gonna break the Final Fantasy record moving forward. Will, can you pronounce this
And then
next
we got
card
the
for me?
freaking DLC Final Fantasy set that's coming out later as well that adds in like I think 20 or 30 more legendaries. It's it's the season set, the
The
seasonal set that they're
DLC.
coming out with where it's like, hey, here's like 5 cards that go with this theme and 5 cards to go with this theme and 5 cards to go with this theme
Did you
and
not get
they're just
enough Cloud?
yeah.
I mean, he's gonna sell. He's gonna sell more product. Trust me. I haven't seen what they're releasing, but something's gonna be Final Fantasy VII themed. But Will, how do you pronounce this next card for me?
So for those who have not heard the stupid meme with this card, it is Monk Gyatso. I am building this in casual, and if any of my friends pronounce it as Gyatso, I am going to be killing them first.
I like
I hate it.
how.
I love the card, and I'm going to hate playing the card because everybody's going to make that stupid joke.
Well, also his flavor text references cake, so yeah, I can see why. All right, so Monk Gyatso, 3 generic and a white, 3/3 human monk. I said I wouldn't bring up too many legendaries. This is one. Whenever another creature you control becomes a target of a spell or ability, you may airbend that creature. Not like one time per turn, or there's no limitation to this. It's like, hey, do you want to remove that thing? I'm going to bring it back. I'm going to remove it myself and bring it back. And if they were to cast something on top of that to try to remove it again, it's like, okay, do you want to remove that thing? It's almost like having Mother Giver, but with an indefinite amount of protection. Obviously, you don't need to tap this to do this, and it doesn't protect itself, which is only fair. But it's pretty damn good. Also, it could be a spell or ability that anyone uses, right? So you could trigger this yourself, which is a nice thing. It's not even just a means of protection; it's a way for you to airbend your own creatures that have relevant effects, right? Namely, I could think of a few ways to potentially rip this for infinite, but they feel like you'd be juggling a lot of things. Um,
I just want to point out this makes all of your creatures into Norn the Wary.
yeah, pretty
Somebody does
much.
the thing, I'm gone.
I feel like there's got to be a combo here, but it has to be 3 cards with
Yeah,
Gatsu.
well, I mean, Village Bellringer plus Dorks
Yeah,
kind of
that's
does
enough.
it.
That's enough. Yeah, yeah,
I think the combo is going to be something like Abdel or Felidar Guardian, and you just do Lightning Greaves, poke, 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 poke.
yeah, yeah. I like that too.
Mono White
So,
nod to everybody.
did we miss anything for Gyatso?
A good card. Gyatso is a good card. I think his name is Gyatso. Is how you pronounce how Aang pronounces it. It's a monk Gyatso.
I'll
So it's
believe you.
Gi.
I'll believe you. I'll believe you. Monkey Yatsu. I only have one more card
Augie
in white, guys.
Real.
Sorry to say, we're coming to the end, and it's an okay one. I think I only really wrote it down because it's a new tutor. Tale of Momo. For 2 generic and a white, the spell costs 2 less to cast if a creature left the battlefield under your control this turn. Really not difficult to do in a limited setting for this set, but also not difficult to do just in general. Obviously, this would be great if it was a permanent left your battlefield, then you would be triggering this all the time with your fetch lands. Que sera. Search your library and or graveyard for an allied creature. Reveal it and put it into your hand. Search your library. This way you shuffle your library. Okay. This is not too dissimilar to a black spell that lets you search for mercenaries. It's just a random subtyping, is what I'm saying, that you don't really see searchers for. That was a black spell, obviously. There are white ally searchers. There have been in the past. It's not frequently we see these, but if ally becomes a subtype that's relevant again, then Tale of Momo, I guess.
Well, also, just if you have notable changelings in your deck,
Yeah,
go
that's true.
for it. Eventually, we're gonna get like some 2-card changeling combo that people are gonna be like, "Ah, Momo finds both of them."
Yeah. We need Tale of Momo. All right, that's all I got. Suki's in the set. Get hyped.
All right, I got a good old list of excess stuff, but a lot of them are going to be legendaries that will have niche cases in the 99. Starting off with Avatar Aang, Airbending Master, 5 mana for a 4/4 ETB. Airbend another creature. Whenever one or more creatures leave your battlefield, whenever one or more creatures you control leave the battlefield without flying, you get experience counters. And then at the beginning of your upkeep, you create 1/1 avatar or allied creature tokens for each experience counter you have. Pretty much the only thing we care about for this in the 99 of most decks is going to be ETB Airbend. ETB Airbend enables some combos that you can do. It does stuff for Abdel. It does a lot of good stuff. Pretty much all the random things I have on my list are going to be ETB Airbend. So, yeah.
ETB Arpin. I have nothing to say
Yeah.
about it. It's 5 mana. It's a little costly.
Yeah. A fun card for the command zone, but we're not talking about that today. Next, Aang, Last Airbender. 4 mana for a 3/2 flyer. ETB, Airbend another target non-land permanent. Which also I want to point out, both of the Aangs allow you to airbend opponents' things, which is relevant because a little bit of removal. And also this other Aang, when you cast a lesson, Aang gains lifelink until the end of the turn. Is that going to be relevant? Pretty much never. But once again, ETB Airbend does good stuff. Notable. Going to my next one, and this is one that I like this as potentially better better generous gift for
Oh,
white decks, which is airbending lesson. 3 mana for an instant, exile target
whoops.
non-land permanent. Or sorry, airbend target non-land permanent. Draw a card. Just disrupt somebody's game plan for the turn, or get value yourself. It's the fact that it draws a card makes it probably better than generous gift.
Yeah, Generous Gift hits non land permanent, right?
Correct.
Right, so same thing. They get the thing back, but this replaces itself. I don't disagree. Yeah, I don't
And
disagree.
I'm not going to be like new white tech, like new standard thing, but
No,
also this is a lesson, which makes it like a little bit better.
sure.
Next we got a Appa Loyal Sky Bison. 6 mana, ETB and attack airbend, or give another target creature you control flying until the end of the turn. He airbends things that you control. He's another ETB airbend card. This is the worst ETB airbend card that I think that I will have on this
Just by
list. But
cost, yeah.
yeah, the fact that he does it on attack as well does make him a value generator. So if you're doing something like what's the Sphinx that Tivit? If you're doing like a Tivit deck and you just need to grind value, Appa can help with that. But Appa's also 6 mana, so
Tricky to slot that in at all.
Appa that's not 6 mana though. Steadfast Guardian. Once again, ETB Airbend, but He has Flash, and it's airbend any number of non-land permanents you control. And when you cast a spell from exile, you create a 1/1 white ally token. So he can be the outlet in the win con for your deck. He ETB airbends multiple things, which means he can be the Abdel for your deck. And he has Flash, meaning he's protection and really good tech. Because if he's in the command zone, everybody knows it's coming. But if he's in your hand, no one knows it's coming.
Self-fulfilling Appa.
Yeah.
We did brew a list for this. It was okay.
Decent enough bracket for.
Yeah.
Next, this one's gonna just be straightforward. Glider Staff, ETB Airbend. Only thing notable on the card. That is why it's on the list.
Creature. But yeah.
Yeah. But good enough. It does the thing. You got the Inspired, which is one thing on my list I forgot to mark off on my list. Southern Air Temple, which
Ooh.
I pretty much have noted for the fact that wait, what? Did I do this way out of order? Hold on.
Yeah, you jumped a bit.
I think I was a little bit out of order, I think.
You're out of
No,
line.
you already got Monkey Yatsu, yeah. A Southern Air Temple, I'm bringing this one up specifically because temples are back. That's going to be something that people care about. This is just going to be my note of like, temples are back. I'm not going to bring up the rest. They're primarily just really good for temple decks. If you have a temple deck, or sorry, a shrine deck. If you have a shrine deck, pick them up. They're good. They are very good.
All
and there's
shrines,
more shrines in the future.
Are all shrines named temple?
No, it's most shrines are named shrine. I just said temple because I got mentally stuck because distracted from today. Going on to things that are actually unique though. Team Avatar. This is not an airbend card. Team Avatar is 3 and a white for an enchantment that has whenever creature you control attacks alone, it gets +X+O, where X is the number of creatures you control. That's a pretty good effect. We've had similar effects in the past, but usually they've been like 4 mana to do this. So this is a cheaper effect to do it. Also, you can pay 2 and a white, discard this card, and deal damage equal to the number of creatures you control to target creature. So it's channel kill a thing. So it's a kind of decent channel removal spell while also being a good Voltron-esque effect. Not going to go in every deck. It's good in the 99 of like a couple casual decks.
Najila?
Just thought I'd point it out because this is a unique effect.
No Najila though.
No Najila.
When she,
well, I mean, to be fair,
she attacks,
you can attack with just Najila to kill somebody with a brutal onslaught of commander damage.
Right.
This could be a win con Najila. It won't be, but it could.
No, it won't be. But I do like it. I like the idea. There's got to be an alt art of Team Avatar. I feel like this deserves better art. No, not that this art is bad. I want full art. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
Next, United Front. This is just another pay X, make X 1/1s in white. However, this one also puts a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. This is one of the better versions of those effects. I think that the instant is still going to be the best. Final white card I have, and this is one that this is really good in very specific decks. And funnily enough, I think Najila is a deck that would potentially be willing to run this card. Water Tribe Rallier. 1 and a white for 2/2. Waterbend 5. Look at the top 4 cards of your library, reveal a creature card from among them with power 3 or less, and put it into your hand. Put the rest on your library, in the bottom of your library in a random order.
It's not horrible.
This is just tap creatures and artifacts to selectively draw a card. If you're in a deck where you are making new creatures or like setting up your board in weird ways, this is really good. For instance, like this is really good in Abdel as well, which I've brought up Abdel way too much, but this does Abdel weirdly does a lot with waterbend.
Yeah.
I know. But here's the thing. Abdel's kind of broken with waterbending because when Abdel enters, you can exile all of the 1/1 soldier tokens that he has to make new untapped 1/1 soldier tokens, which you can then tap into waterbending. So Abdel, when he enters, resets everything for waterbending.
True.
So weirdly good. This slots into like a lot of decks just in a weird way.
If you're also making bodies or
Yeah,
artifacts.
if you're making, well, even if you're not making bodies, this is just basically a Thrasios. Good
Yeah,
enough.
one more mana, but
Yeah,
that's really not
one.
that bad.
Yeah, and it's more selective because you're digging deeper than average Thrasios, but you can whiff. But eh.
Yeah, you're also grabbing a creature, so like you need to have a relevant target. But if your solution is a creature, then you're probably good. Maybe white's in this list.
Yeah,
Makes me wish I could
it is
tap
a card that
enchantments.
is weirdly good enough. Like it does so much weird stuff that it probably slots into a couple decks.
So we touched on a lot of white. I don't know if you guys have anything else from white that we missed, but even if there's a card you just want to look at, feel free to let us know as we go along. But we're going to switch over to the Ooh in Wooburg in just a second. Well, I only have two cards, sadly, in blue. I'm
I
just,
have, I think, like 10, so I can cover you.
my God. Okay, well, I did go over the good ones, I promise. So I'm going to cover
Yes.
them. I'm going to cover them really quick. We'll see what
I,
Will
I
has.
cover the niche. That's kind of our dynamic. You cover like the actual good things, and I cover the like weird niche case crap.
I think I mean no, this feels kind of niche. I don't know how many decks are actually going to want this, but it's just a good card. I wanted to cover Boomerang Basics for a blue sorcery lesson.
I
Return.
am so happy that you noted that card.
It's good. It's really good. Yeah, obviously sorcery speed isn't that sexy when you're in blue. I get it. You want everything to be instant speed, but chill, okay? Return target non-land permanent to its owner's hand. It's you. It's your opponent. If you controlled that permanent, draw a card. This is really good. This is something that people would have wanted when Dockside was still around. This is just a really effective means of removing a threat. And if you're trying to go off on your turn, like if your deck only operates at sorcery speed, then, well, for the win, I should say, then Boomerang Basics is fine. I really like this effect. Again, at one blue, this just feels really good for a lesson. And maybe that's just because we've been trained to think lessons are bad. But this is a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it.
The other funny thing is also if you're in a token deck, this is just a cantrip because you can bounce a worthless token you control to draw a card. It's Void Snare, but better in every conceivable way.
Yeah, it is. I'll look up. Is Void Snare one word? No,
I
no,
think
it's
so.
not. Return target non-land permanent to its owner's hand.
It's the same wording, but minus the draw part.
Oof. Not gonna lie, I like Zach Stella's art on this one though. Shit, he's done some dope art. This might be one of his better ones. This sad Minotaur getting sucked into a vortex, dude. Sucked into a void snare, I should say. At any rate, Boomerang Basics. That's one of them off my list. The other one,
Really quick, I love that the face of the Minotaur in that art because it doesn't look like he's horrified. It looks like he's dipped his toe into like a cold bath of water, and he's like,
yeah. Well, for a second,
that's
I
the sound I hear every time.
Cody Tech, yeah. I thought I thought that the void snare it never mind. I thought there was a knife that went through the Minotaur's head initially, and I thought that was from the snare, which would be really gnarly, but I don't think this is that brutal. There's an R-rated brutal version though, I'm sure out there. Actually, that would be a cool alt art if anyone ever played Void Snare after Boomerang Basics came out. Wan Shi Tong, Librarian. Holy crap, it's a great card and for multiple formats. Um, so this is probably good in Commander. I mean, I this is maybe my favorite card from the set when I saw it spoiled. It still is my favorite card from this. It's just a really good card.
I hate this card, but for the reasons why you love it.
Yeah, it's just good. It's good. Oh no, it's an X cost spell. It's probably gonna be shit. X blue blue bird spirit flash flying vigilance. Of course, your flyer should have vigilance. 1/1 body. When one sheet tongue enters, put X 1/1 counters on him. Then draw X or half X cards rounded down. Ah, damn. Well, there's your X value, right? So you need to put at least 2 in here to get really much of anything. But wait, whenever an opponent searches their library, put a 1/1 counter on one sheet tongue and draw a card. I don't know. Players really like to draw in Commander. You typically try to mull for a hand that leaves you with like 2 to 3 cards remaining because you just dumped everything, right? If one of those cards is Wan Shi, then everyone else's fetch and or tutor is effectively going to pull you into a brand new hand, and you're going to have a really big beater on your side and a way to block a Timna and a way to kill people potentially. Like, there's a lot of search that goes on in a game, especially when there are 3 other players. But I mean, I don't think he's going to get that high on average. Maybe a game will end with him being at like 7. That's like 6+1+1s realistically, but that's a lot of effective draw. I'm curious to see like on average how much this guy nets you, but you will play this into a cracked fetch basically, and or like a DT. Obviously in a instant speed tutor will work its way around this more or less, unless you wait for them to use the vamp tutor and then cast this. Um, Effects like this, was what is it? What's Arcana? What's the name? Archivist of
Archivist of
Ogma.
Ogma.
Yeah, like, so we have things like this, but they're not played often. Whenever a opponent searches their library, you gain a life and draw a card.
It
Um,
is the same wording, but instead of gain a life, it's put a +1
yeah,
+1 counter on it. Also, they gave it -1/-1, but flying and vigilance and an ETB to draw you cards and put more counters on it. I hate that they gave blue a better Archivist of Ogma. Give
yeah.
white something.
Yeah, so that's the other thing. I think the thing that just puts us over the edge is that in a deck where you're making infinite mana, and it could be food chain mana, it could be really any form of infinite mana that you typically see in a cEDH setting. You could use this
Cannon.
as an outlet. So great, even down to Simic,
Like,
right? You just use your creature tutor to find this, and then like, okay, I'm gonna use my mana now to just draw
honest
half my deck
question.
rounded down.
Do the Kennen decks care about Thrasios anymore if they could theoretically just get this into play, Hull Break Horror, bounce it, play it for infinite mana, and just say game? They probably
Honestly,
still do care about Thrasios, but I think that they probably cut the Eldrazi for this now.
yeah, I feel like Thrasios is still good value. But yeah, you're right. I feel like this can probably slot into Kinnan. It's good. It's really good. It's an outlet. It's a draw effect. Again, Archivist doesn't come out too often, but this is just better than that. Ghost Quarterpock.
All right, and those were your 2 for blue, right?
Yeah, that's it. Sorry, man.
All right, I had somewhat of a list because there's a lot of like weird blue cards. One is the first one, Accumulate Wisdom. It's a
Mm.
2 mana for an instant. Look at the top 3, put one of them to your hand, and the rest on the bottom in random order. If you have 3 or more lessons in your graveyard, put all to hand instead. 2 mana potentially draw 3. If lessons are prevalent in your deck, this is just a pretty good effect.
I agree. I almost put it
Um,
down. I almost put it down, but I didn't.
yeah, I'm like, lessons are relevant because of this set existing, so I might as well just note it at the very
Yeah,
least.
yeah. I was thinking to myself, like, what deck wants this, and I can't think of anything immediately that would care to run this. So I avoided it, but it's a good card. And it reminded me of
Yeah.
Limdol's Vault, though it's nothing like Limdol's Vault. Limdol's Vault is better, but
Uh, Next one is very similar to this one, but in a different way. Chakra Meditation. It's a 2 and a blue for an enchantment. ETB, return an instant or sorcery card from your graveyard to your hand. And whenever you cast an instant or sorcery card, draw a card, then discard a card unless you have 3 or more lessons in your graveyard. So this is just giving you hand fixing while also just being like a weird Snapcaster style effect. I like it. I like the fact that this is just a return a force of will while also letting you loot through your deck a little bit.
yeah. Wait, yeah, yeah, it's good.
Even even if you don't run any lessons, not a bad card.
Now? What's the nearest equivalent? It's a body, right? Um,
There's the 4 mana one that's like straight
that's
up draw a
red.
card on Magecraft, but it's 4 mana. It's the creature, but we have Ransacked Laboratory. When you cast an instant or sorcery, draw a card. But I think you have to cast 4 more cards in one turn to get that effect. once you do that on your turn, you have that effect for the rest of the game. Um, this is very similar, but I just like the fact that it can set up your grave for you. It's a nice card.
No, great.
Uh, my next cards are all called Katara in some way, shape, or form, but two of them are legendary. The other's a spell. I'm just going to go through them really quick. Katara Bending Prodigy. Ignore the first part about getting +1/+1 counters. Waterbend 6 draw card. There's a lot of artifact decks out there. There's a lot of creature decks out there. You can abuse this to draw a good amount of cards pretty easily. Don't think that a lot needs to be said. It's just the same reason why the other waterbending white card is good. This is good.
Yeah.
Um,
Outlet.
next one is an interesting one, and we can actually discuss this next one because it does cool things. Katara's Reversal. 4 mana for an instant, counter up to 4 target spells and or abilities. Untap for artifacts and or creatures. This untapping rocks is pretty nice. This can be a ritual to just get you mana because you don't need to counter stuff. Countering up to 4 spells or abilities means theoretically you can just go tap Mana Vault, tap Grim Monolith, tap Opal, tap Arcane Signet, untap all 4 for 4 mana, tap all them again, play Jin Gitaxis or something. This is a ritual straight up, but it's a bad dramatic reversal. But it also lets you counter Thoracle.
Yeah, true. I mean, at 4, mind you, but yeah.
Yeah, it's the fact that it's 4 hurts, but the fact that you can just play it as a ritual instead of playing as a counterspell makes it feel actually usable. It's a weird seething song.
Yeah, I know. I get that. Seething Song is how much mana? 3?
3 mana to make 5.
Yeah, it's basically a weird Seething Song. I mean, yeah, it's weird too, because like the counter for target spells or abilities is sort of just icing on the cake. Like,
Which I love that that's the thing of like, oh yeah, a counterspell slash what is it called? The stifle. Counterspell slash stifle 4 times is icing on the cake of a card.
well, because I mean, we have oodles of that in blue anyway, so it's like you're not really like hurting for more counter effects, but the untap
True.
effects at large like that, on top of the other effect, it feels like it should be mythic status. This kind of reminds me of the 4 mana spell, the modal one, where you could pick one of the effects more than one time. It's like counter a spell, counter a spell, counter a spell, or counter spell, draw a card. What is it called? I think it's something reversal, actually.
Cryptic Command, or are you
Maybe
talking
it's
about the 5 mana one?
cryptic. Maybe it's cryptic command. Yeah, I think it's cryptic command.
It's counter thing, draw a card, tap all creatures your opponents control, or something else. I can't remember what the 4th effect
Yeah,
is.
return target not a permanent to its owner's hand. Tap all creatures your opponents control. Draw a card. Choose 2. Oh, there's the other one that lets you choose 3.
Yeah,
Excuse
it's
me.
the 5 mana one. I know what you're talking about, and it's like a draw a card, counterspell unless its controller pays 3, and I think like all creatures get -2 -0 or something. No, it's return a non or creature to its owner's hand, I think.
So you lose the modality of like a cryptic command, but you get a more flexible spell that's 2 generic and double blue that lets you do 8 things if you want to look at it that way.
Yeah,
It's not bad.
yeah, it's just worst case scenario of mediocre ritual, but it also is just a counterspell.
Yeah.
Good card. Next card that everybody has brought up 1,000,001 times, but I'm bringing it up because it's going to be in the 99 of so many decks. Katara Waterbending Master. We did a deck on this. It did disgusting things. You just toss this in any deck, and it's the best draw creature in every deck you play.
Yeah. Yeah.
Gross.
This is, you
Gross
know what?
card.
Actually, this is why Wan Shi won't be played. No, I'm kidding. Because you're not holding your mana. You're going to put this down. She's good. Mystic
Yeah.
Confluence? Mystic Confluence, you say? The
Yeah, that's
Oh,
the 5 mana one, I think.
yeah, that is the 5 mana one. Thank you.
Next card that I have,
Pretty
and this
sure.
one is
Choose 3, thank
I
you.
love that everybody overlooked the complete and utter bullcrap you can do with this card. Uh, Secret of Bloodbending. So, for those who don't know, it's blue, 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 blue for a sorcery lesson. And as an additional cost to cast the spell, you may waterbend 10. Then
Secret of Blood
you can
Betting. Sorry, so sorry.
you control target opponent during their next combat phase. If this spell's additional cost was played, you control that player on their next turn instead. Exile Secret of Bloodbending or Secret of Bloodbending. Ignore the additional cost. If you control your opponent on combat, you can do a lot of crap. So the player has to tap out before their combat, or else you, in the middle of their combat, are going to play every instant in their hand and counterspell it and give them the worst possible outcome of everything. Against Thassa's Oracle decks, you just kill them. If they have Tainted Pact or Demonic Consultation in hand, you just go, I'm going to force you to pay a black and exile your deck.
Good
This
stuff.
is a really mean card.
You're not.
Even
You're
if
actually.
you're not paying the 10.
You're not forcing them to do anything. You're just actively playing their turn. That's all.
Yeah,
And if it's
yeah.
bad for them, then
They wanted to play Demonic Consultation and watch players lose the game. We're just expediting the process. They just happen to be the one to lose instead.
Yeah. It's only a pity if you can't cast their Thassa's Oracle first and just scry, and then exile their shit.
But yeah, this card is like surprisingly more brutal than I think people are giving this card credit for, because controlling somebody on their combat is mean. Because even in the most polite thing that you do, you go, okay, you're playing a Winota, you move to combat. During your combat, I'm going to tap all your mana.
Nice.
Or like, oh, you go to combat, I'm going to have all of your stuff swing into me, and I'm going to block it with my Octavia and all my other 8/8s to kill all of your stuff.
Oh,
This card is just very rude, and I love it.
dude, I just realized that it's also a lesson.
Yeah. Once again, lessons being surprisingly good cards.
Yeah, for 4
Speaking of,
blue, you're gonna have a lot of islands. Don't worry about it.
speaking of lessons, this next card is not a lesson, but I just felt like saying that. Spirit Water Revival.
It's
This
next.
is 3 mana for sorcery. As an additional cost, you may waterbend 6. Draw 2 cards. If this card's additional cost was paid, you may shuffle your graveyard in your library. You shuffle your graveyard into your library. Then draw 7 cards, and you have no maximum hand size for the rest of the game. Exile this card. So this is either just 3 mana, draw 2, or if you have any creatures in play, it's 3 mana, draw 7, and have no maximum hand size for the rest of the game.
It's not bad. It's good. Yeah, it's good
Yeah.
recover. I mean, it's also kind of a recovery. You're shuffling your graveyard into your library, which is really interesting.
Yep. So if you use a Narset's Reversal, you can loop your deck with this in a Thrasios deck, which is very funny considering the decks that probably play waterbending cards are probably going to be Thrasios decks,
Yeah.
because tapping your Thrasios and all your random creatures that are there for Razakat stuff means that this is going to cost very little. Because also, I want to put it into perspective. Usually effects like this that shuffle your hand into your deck, which this doesn't do, cost about 5, but it makes everybody go through.
Right.
So not only is this asymmetrical, you're just netting 7. You're not going back up to 7. You're netting 7. So if you have 4 creatures or artifacts in play, this is just a better version of those effects. This is a lot of draw, no maximum hand size for the rest of the game, and just shuffling your graveyard into your library so you could loop if you wanted.
Yeah, it's really
Good card.
interesting as a way to shuffle your graveyard into your library. Just personally, like, if for whatever reason you're in a deck where you just don't have the utility to bring that back on top of your library or recover it by any means, like to hand or just straight to battlefield, it's a really cool way to, if you have a way to draw your deck, replenish and draw your deck. So it's kind of just a way, like what am I trying to say? Get out of jail free card or something, but it's a good way to recover a utility. It's not bad. I like it. It's on the not bad list.
Yeah,
For 9 mana.
It is. Well, it's never gonna be 9 mana. If you're putting this in a deck, you make enough creatures and that you don't care about tapping, that you're probably paying at least 3 or 3 or 4. You're at least paying 4 for the waterbending through tapping creatures. Um, Next, Waterbending Ascension. As you were bringing up the Ascensions before, this is 2 mana for an enchantment. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, put a quest counter on this quest. If you have 4 or more quest counters on this, draw a card. Waterbending for 4. Target creature you control can't be blocked this turn. That last part's actually somewhat relevant, but you can ignore that. Just 2 mana for an effect that's usually 4 mana is pretty nice. And that also means that weirdly enough, you can search this up in Zur, which I don't think is going to be relevant,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
for Zur control, it's kind of relevant.
Yeah. Does
So,
Eureka care about this?
uh, maybe not Eureka, but hey, if you're gonna try doing some weird Najeela stuff, this isn't that. This is pretty cheap for
This will
Najeela to do some dumb Najeela stuff.
weird Nagila stuff. Pair this with that card, the Avatar's team, and then go to town.
Go to town, kick their ass.
Yeah.
My final one is Waterbending Restoration. This is
Yeah.
2 blue for an instant lesson as an additional cost. Waterbend X. Exile X target creatures you control, return them to the battlefield under their owner's control at the beginning of the next end step. This is just a good protection / value card. If you care about flickering your board, you tap your board to exile your board.
Mm.
Like, just an efficient way to protect your board against a wrath or to gain value. Recommend it for pretty much any deck where you care about EDBs.
And it's a lesson.
It is a lesson.
Chris says Waterbender Ascension in potentially Malcolm list. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good. Yeah, I feel like I'm going to say that with a lot of these cards. There's effectively a lot of good cards. Like I mentioned off the bat, like these effects that they just baked into this set, the Airbender, Waterbender, Earthbender, especially Firebender, they're all quite good. Yeah, Earthbending is just pretty generically good in my mind, though. And also, there are ways to combo with Earthbending that kind of unlocked themselves, which is kind of neat. But that's it for blue. If there's anything in blue you guys want to talk about, another Katara card, she's all over these. Let us know. Also, let us know what your favorite art from the set has been. I have a few. Honestly, my favorite is a black card that's probably not going to get played. I'll bring it up when I see it, though. Moving on. 2 black, actually. Love Azula. Tapachi Toro, who mentioned purchasing Azula from this set. I agree with you. Any Azula will do. Will, I have 3 from black.
I have 6.
Yeah.
I had significantly less in black.
That's still a few. Did you start with Desperate Plea?
I did not.
Okay, then.
Desperate Plea actually isn't even on my list.
It's pretty decent. For a black and a generic, additional cost to cast the spell, sacrifice a creature. Ooh, that doesn't feel good. But choose one or both. Destroy target creature. You'll do that, and then you'll also return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield if its power is less than or equal to the sacrificed creature's power. This is interesting. I know what you're thinking. Can I sack the creature and bring it back? You choose targets and modes before paying the cost, if I'm not mistaken, as additional cost. Either way, I don't believe you can bring the creature back. So,
correct. You have to point at both things simultaneously, saying I'm sacking that and reanimating that. So this is not in the graveyard by the time you have to point that out.
Yeah. So the way it sequences is it's just not effective in that way. But this is a really cool way to, if you have a deck that mills or you just entomb something of value that you want, or buried alive something of value. If you have a deck that utilizes a commander for X value and you really don't need it at this point, you also happen to be in black, so like you'll have reanimate to bring that back if you need it. This is a really cool way to bring said creature back out of your graveyard. Really good utility for that. Obviously, destroying a threat at the same time is fantastic. I don't see why you wouldn't want to do that. Its only hiccups is that it's sorcery speed, which is not that bad of a deal. Yeah, I like Desperate Plea quite a bit.
Yeah, I completely missed that card. I would have honestly had it on my list, but I was rushed and skimmed over it.
And it's a lesson.
Indeed.
We're going to say that with a lot of cards. Because they actually made lessons good. It's just so weird. It's so weird to see. But speaking about a girl who needs no lessons, my scornful striker. For generic and a black, 2/2 body, first strike, whenever a player casts a non creature spell, they lose 2 life. This also means you, but embrace the chaos. I love playing decks that hamper life as a resource. And, you could complain about the ad nauseum or you can do something about it. And dropping a spell like this stops players from leveraging their life as a resource to too far an extent, right? Like the Godo won't be able to use the Treason Soaker that well. Like I mentioned, ad nauseum is not going to be able to dig that deep. This reminds me of the Kambal list I made when ad nauseum was the thing to do. Kambal was asymmetrical in that he did the same thing, but you didn't lose life, so you could do your own ad nauseum. I believe he also lets you gain life. I forget the back end of him. He was more expensive though, but Mai's just really good hate bear. And if your deck doesn't really care about, you're in black, so you probably do care about it. But if you can skirt around the fact that you're losing life, you should be fine.
Yeah, it's what's it called? A Eidolon of the Great Revel. It's a
Mm,
Eidolon of the Great Revel, but for black. It's a
that
This
one's
card's going
red.
to see a lot of play in Modern because now you have 8 Eidolon of the Great Revels that you can cram into one deck, and also this is a 2/2 first strike, which means that in Commander this is a Tymna blocker. In Modern, this is an everything with prowess blocker.
Yeah, Eidolon of Great Rebels also too, right? But in red. Fact? Yeah, yeah.
Make sure you play them in the correct order. Play my first, then play Eidolon. Eidolon will burn you if you play my second.
Last card I want to bring up is Obsessive Pursuit. For a generic and a black enchantment, when this enchantment enters and at the beginning of your upkeep, you lose 1 life and create a clue token. Okay. So basically, I listed a worse Dark Confidant. Well, there's a little bit more to this. And artifacts are relevant, especially if you have waterbending in your deck. So consider that.
Especially with clues, because clues don't need to tap to sack and draw.
No,
They just pay 2 sack and draw.
precisely. Yeah, you exactly. It's in the reminder too, but yeah, exactly. It does feel bad to leverage this over, say, a Dark Confidant in some ways. Mind you, Dark Confidant, you would lose mana off the CMC. You also reveal the card to everyone, so they're getting knowledge of your hand as you go along. This is a little bit more secure. But more importantly, whenever you attack, put X 1/1 counters on target attacking creature. 1/1 counters, where X is the number of permanents you've sacrificed this turn. If X is 3 or greater, that creature gains lifelink until end of turn. Good way to counter my. We're less concerned about the lifelink. This is just a really good effect. I think the counter manipulation decks are probably going to enjoy this, and it's not difficult, again, to have permanents be sacrificed. Remind you, fetch lands, say, sacrifice and search your deck, right? So it's actually pretty easy to accomplish, and it's a decent draw utility as well. I wouldn't say that this is one of the better ones Black's seen if you just want raw draw, but having artifacts will be relevant for some decks because they can basically work. As Will mentioned, you can draw off them even when they're tapped, and then if you have effects that let you tap artifacts to cast things, great.
I
Should be good.
also do want to point out that this is theoretically a win con in a lot of decks. Because if you can do some kind of sacrifice loop and then
Yeah,
play Walking Ballista with haste, you move to attack with a 1/1 ballista,
lifelink.
give it enough counters to kill everybody. So
Yeah.
utility.
Yeah, it's funny. The lifelink is, I mean, if you have if you have Helion in the deck, technically this is a way to lessen the burden of the combo, right? Because you can like pay 3 or pay 2 to give something lifelink. I forget what it is.
Well, you can also use it with any Ajani effect, and then Walking Ballista in the graveyard with Cauldron, Agatha's Soul Cauldron. There's there's a couple things you can do with this to make this a win con. This is also just a value draw piece. This is also just a way to gain your life back after like necroing or nosing. Good card. Good card.
That's all I got for black, sir.
All right. Funnily enough, you only touched on one of the black cards that I had.
Oh.
So first, I just wanted to go over Day of the Black Sun. Each creature, it's X black black. Each creature with mana value X or less loses all abilities until the end of the turn. Destroy those creatures. Usually paying like 2 or 3 for this is good enough. It's just a way to nuke the board and ignore consequences. It gets through indestructible. It gets through any effect. Not a bad wrath. Probably better for casual than it is for competitive. But if you're playing a big deck that cares about higher CMC, this is a good way at hitting the small stuff that you normally would have to hit with your bigger stuff.
Do the other tribes have this issue where if there's an eclipse, they lose their bending? Do you know what I mean?
Uh,
Like, does it?
so with waterbenders, they lose their bending if it's a no moon. I think
Mm,
full moon gives them better bending. No moon gives them significantly weaker bending.
makes sense. Control the tides, all that. Got you.
Yeah.
That's it though.
Um, and then firebenders, they with the comet they get stronger. With the eclipse, they get weaker. Earth and airbenders are just like, nah, dude.
We're good.
Our stuff stays in atmosphere. We're not into that space crap.
Yeah. You take that space crap and shove it, okay? Day of the Black Sun.
Get your space crap out of here. This is Boston.
Yeah. Yeah, the art for this is sick as hell. I'm sorry. The promo version's neat. The standard version's best. Good job, Mateo. Okay.
Next,
This
I
art.
had
God. So,
I had Fire Nation Occupation.
so good.
Fire Nation Occupation, the black card with the alliteration.
Fire
No.
Nation Occupation.
Um,
Oh, where is it? Where is it? Where is it?
but
There it
yeah,
is.
Fire Nation Occupation is 3 in a black for an enchantment. When this enters, you create a 2/2 red soldier token with Firebending 1.
Hmm.
Then, whenever you cast a spell during an opponent's turn, you do the same. This makes a lot of things very quickly. And depending on the deck that you're running, this can do dumb things. For instance, if you have Thrasios, every time you play a counterspell, you get a thing that will help you pay for Thrasios when you move to combat. It will also give you attackers for your Timna. This is just this is one of the few cards that makes firebending good because just bodies, but also
Yeah.
actual notable amounts of mana.
So I actually glazed over this. I didn't realize it's the second effect. So normally when we see like I'm just going to reference this as like a bitter blossom effect. You also get these in red as well. Like they generally will make goblins. Usually not anything this beefy and or effective. Firebending again, in case you don't know, it's whenever you attack, you create red mana, and then you can use that during combat. So it's provided in last as steps and phases end. Well, I should say phases of combat end, but as soon as combat's over, it's gone unless you have a way to like pocket it. Um, those other effects are neat, but they usually only trigger during your upkeep, or they have a set time. The window for this the window for this being just cast stuff on your opponent's turn is kind of fucked up.
Yeah,
It's like I didn't realize that. I completely glazed over that. Will is correct. This is a very good card. You should consider this as a way to just generate bodies, and then obviously they generate mana. That's good. This is good.
yeah.
This is actually really good. What deck
I
wants this
also want to point
though?
out this card is mono black. It does have red in the reminder text, but
Yeah, yeah.
firebending works the same as extort. It's just black.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I mean, hell, this is good for so many things. Obviously, if you have an activated ability that wants any form of mana, then this is great. So, yeah.
Screw it, we playing this in Zur and we just swangin'. We using red mana and swangin'.
What else can you run this in? I'm trying to think of what's the best deck for this. Because like the token generator decks aren't like highly
And
played or
any
considered.
commander deck that cares about either having bodies or cares about having an activated ability on your commander. For instance, there's the Esper Warhammer commander that everybody likes. That's like whenever you make a creature token, you draw a card, and you can pay 6 mana to make 2 creature tokens.
Oh,
So not only does this draw you cards, but it makes you the mana to draw more cards.
what is the name of this guy again?
I'll look him up, and then I can get him to you.
Yeah, I'm curious now.
What?
This is such a cool card that I want to make a deck for it. That's how I'm feeling right now. It's pretty
The
good.
funny thing is, you can just kind of cram this in any deck, and it works.
Yeah, kind of.
Marneus Calgar, Marneus space Calgar.
Excuse me. Marnie is Calgar. Whenever one or more tokens enter the battlefield under your control, draw a card. Oh yeah, that's good.
Yeah, yeah. He kind of does both the things.
Yeah, Marnius will appreciate this.
Marneus will remember this.
Stardy's warrior. Okay. Moving on.
Next, I had a Foggy Swamp Visions. This is one black sorcery as an additional cost to cast this Waterbend X. Then exile X target creature cards from graveyards. For each creature exiled this way, create a token that's a copy of it. At the beginning of your next end step, sacrifice those tokens. So this is Grave Hate against your opponent's stuff. This is also Reanimate for you. It's 3 mana and it can reanimate a lot of things. If you're playing any kind of creature-based deck, this is good. This does a lot because it disrupts your opponent's grave while also giving you a reanimate and giving you a lot of value. I like thinking of this as better victimize.
Yeah, can kind of see that. Sadly, it's not a lesson, but that's okay.
Yeah,
It's fine. There's a cool alt art for this, by the way. I'm just gonna put that up on the screen so you guys can enjoy
my
that.
girlfriend turned into the moon.
I feel like a lot of didn't he have multiple girlfriends on that show? I forget.
Uh, yes. So he was like the accidental ladies' man because usually whenever they went somewhere, some girl liked him. Because I think that there was an earthbending girl in season 1 that kind of liked him, but that didn't go anywhere. Then they got to the Northern Water Tribe, and then he got a girl who became the Moon. He had Suki, and then that didn't go anywhere immediately. And then he got popular in the Earth Kingdom, where there was a couple girls that liked him, and then he eventually ended up with Suki, I think. Also, Ty Lee was like, she wasn't into him, but she was like intrigued by him because she thought he was funny. I think that's the collective of all the girls who were into Sokka.
Suki was the right move. Ty Lee was the move the kids wanted, though.
Yeah.
Okay.
Giant
Next
fly? Card, and this card is a fun one for casual and also just useful in random decks. Joe D, one of many. One to black for a human advisor with 2 power, 2 toughness. It's not legendary, even though it does have the same like naming conventions of a legendary.
Yeah, but I like how they did this. Though it really bothered me that it wasn't legendary, but I like that she's not legendary.
Yeah, and it makes the other effect, like the actual effect of the card, smoother.
Yeah,
So it's correct. It makes sense the reason why they did what they did. And thematically for the show, it makes sense. But a black, tap, surveil 1, create a token that's a copy of this card, then sacrifice a artifact or creature, activate only as a sorcery. The reason why this card is really good is because you'll get a couple of them by sacrificing random artifacts or creatures that don't matter. And then eventually you're going to get to a point in, like, let's say a Blood Artist deck in casual, where you're just going to pay a black, surveil a card, make a Jody, and sack that Jody immediately, and then each opponent loses a life and you gain a life from Blood Artist. Repeat, repeat, repeat. You just start burning people down. There's also some shenanigans where you can go infinite with like this Piteous Plunder and Haste. So this card has like some niche combos. This card can do some kind of dumb stuff, but this card is also just very abusable. So good.
Yeah, no, I dig it. I love the art. It's creepy. I remember this girl from the show.
Yeah. I mean, remember the girls from the show?
Yeah. Yeah.
There's more than one. It's not legendary.
There you go.
And final one on my list, which is I thought that this was going to be the final one on your list, but then was kind of surprised that it wasn't. It's Zuko's Conviction. It's 1 black for an instant, kicker for 4, return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. If you kick this, put it to the battlefield tapped instead. Uh, this is just another instant speed reanimate. It's also just recur creature for 1, but it's primarily on my list because it's an instant speed reanimate, and I think this is the 4th one that we've gotten in MTG history. So it's on here.
So I thought this was sorcery. And I was wrong. So yeah, it's good. It's funny.
Yeah,
I can't help
it's
but
notable.
I can't help but feel there's a lesson to be learned here, but it is in fact not a lesson. This was
Yeah,
my favorite
it's
art.
just conviction.
This is actually my favorite art from the set. Zuko's storyline in the Avatar series is probably my favorite. So this is great, and I also just love Iroh, and he's pretty much in all the scenes we get to savor Iroh in, and the relationship was really beautiful. This card is great.
Yeah.
Yeah, this card is great. I think it really captures Zuko well. But also just is functionally a really great card. Obviously, 5 to reanimate a thing at instant speed is kind of high, but I feel like isn't that generally where those land? Aren't they usually high costed anyways to put to battlefield at instant? Other than like
Uh,
Goryo's, is Goryo's Vengeance instant?
Gorya's Vengeance is an instant. Yeah,
It's
the
2
the
for
ones that I
legendary.
it's only a legendary. Yeah. So the ones that are instant speed reanimates are Gorya's Vengeance, Shallow Grave, Necromancy, and Corpse Dance. So those are the 4, and now we have the Zuko's Conviction. Um, Necromancy is it's an aura reanimate for 3 mana, but you can flash it in if you sack it at the end step. Corpse Dance is Shallow Grave is 2 mana, revive the top creature of your graveyard. Corpse Dance is the same thing with buyback 2, so it's a 5 mana instant speed reanimate. And then Gorya's Vengeance is 2 mana, reanimate a creature in your legendary creature in your graveyard. And all of those are sack it at end step or exile the thing at end step.
This
So
does not. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, this is just a 5 mana instant speed reanimate.
Obviously, if the thing you're trying to reanimate is Razaketh, then probably just commit to one of those other things and you're fine. But this is pretty good for everything else.
To be fair, like this is also just a card that you can hold up your mana with something notable in graveyard and just go, okay, counterspell, 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 didn't need a counterspell? Cool. Reanimate Razakath.
Sure.
Instants are good. Instants are good, kids.
Yeah, truth is, one of those counterspells is probably free. Honestly,
Yeah.
after the comics and Mai's actions, Zuko should have went back to Busing Se and got with Jin.
Yeah. Jin was legitimately chill, but also that relationship probably wouldn't have worked out because he hid literally everything from her because she's like, you're the guy who works at the tea shop. And he's like, yes. And nothing else.
Wait, is Jin in this set?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I could be wrong. She's probably in green, if anywhere.
Moving on. Guys, unless there's another black card you want to talk about, I think we covered a fair bit, though. There's a handful of red cards to talk about, and I'm going to start with a lesson. A firebending lesson. Okay, so it's 1 red, kicker 4. Firebending lesson deals 2 damage to target creature. If the spell was kicked, it deals 5 damage to that creature instead. It's like Shock, but better.
It doesn't go face, though. But honestly,
no, it doesn't. But
it being a lesson is usually relevant enough.
Yeah, I like this card a lot. It's just flexible removal. Can't really say much else about it. It's just pretty good. Speaking of Iroh, I have a card with his name on it.
Yep.
I don't. This is a lesson. Okay, Iroh's Demonstration. For a generic and a red lesson, choose one. It deals 1 damage to each creature your opponents control, or it deals 4 damage to target creature. So basically, it's 1 damage shy of the other lesson we just discussed, but is also modal and lets you kill all the tokens, unless they're firebender soldiers, or kill one big thing. This is sorcery speed, mind you, but I really like the flexibility of this card. I think this is really good. Any electrickery effects we can get, I'm into, and this is, I mean, it's probably one of the better token removals you can have on a list. Yeah, I like it.
Okay, good effect.
Ironically, Zuko's conviction would be great in Azula.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's just preying on his work. Lost in Memories is my next card. I find this to be pretty good. I was wishy washy on putting this in, but it's pretty damn good. For generic and a red, aura, enchantments, flash, enchanted creature you control, whatever enchanted creature gets +1/+1, and whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player. There's no evasion on this, sadly. Target instant or sorcery card in your graveyard gains flashback until end of turn. The flashback cost is equal to its mana cost.
I mean, honestly, good in a Heb card.
Yeah. This is really good. This is just really good value. Honestly, any list that wants to leverage certain effects like instants and sorceries repeatedly, if they just run dry in hand, this is a good way to give you those utilities again. Particularly if you have double strike, right? So you can get the damage off twice, do the thing twice. It's really solid. Yeah, I love this effect. I think it's a pretty decent aura. Again, Neheb is one list that might want to use it. I don't think your Zerda list would care about this. No, probably not.
It's just a good grindy effect because the only other thing that lets us well, there's three effects that I think let us four effects that let us consistently give flashback to stuff, and two of them are 6 mana enchantments. One of them is a 5 mana dragon that gives everything your grave flashback on attack. This is the cheapest option out of all of them, and usually you're only casting like one, maybe two things with those if you're grinding out value. So this kind of seems like the best option of the four.
And if the thing attacking is a firebender, you got the mana right there.
There you go.
There you go. There you go. All right, the next card. It is in the thumbnail. It is maybe the best card from the set for Commander. It is Redirect Lightning. I'm just gonna say, I think for a competitive game of Commander, this is the best new card. It's a red. It's a flippin' lesson. As additional cost to cast a spell, pay 5 life or 5 life. Pay 5 life. Change target of target spell or ability with a single target. It's just really good, low to the ground, effective redirect. We want all of these. Probably say goodbye to Bolt Bend, the list that used that. I don't know. This is good. This will probably be splashed in other decks too. Like it's good in a lot of decks. Like an Izzet list doesn't care. There's a lot of lists that don't care about their life that way.
This will be in every single red deck from here
Pretty
until the end of
much.
time. This is probably more playable than Red Elemental Blast and Pyroblast.
Yeah, I mean,
Even in your Nas decks,
yeah.
if you just have this and use this as a 3 mana counterspell, good enough. Like, weirdly enough, people will hardcast a deflecting swat, and this is no different.
Yeah, true.
And also,
true,
like,
true.
5 life in a Nas deck isn't always make or break.
No. I agree with you. This is a fantastic card. Definitely worth picking up a copy or two. Hopefully pulling it. I feel like it's going to be expensive. Man, and both versions are great. There's no wrong redirect lightning. Choose one. But put it
So
in
I
your
think
red
there's
list.
another art as well that is Iroh demonstrating it to Zuko.
Please God, I will take that version.
I don't know if that's like a special art, but it's not here. But I saw that posted somewhere.
That's the version I want. I want that version. But what about the last Agni Kai? Did you hear about him? So for generic and red, instant speed, target creature you control fights target creature an opponent controls. Great. I want to kill that thing. If the creature the opponent controls is dealt excess damage this way, add that much red mana. Till the end of turn, you don't lose unspent red mana as steps and phases in. This is basically removal and a ritual depending on how big your thing is, and or removal and it pays for itself, and or removal and you get a little bit of change. Or just removal.
Yeah, it turns out
Or just removal.
red, like paid one red to kill a thing is pretty good at instant speed.
I don't know how much fight we actively see in red either, so I really enjoy this. It's usually just damage. You do damage to a thing. I like that this took what I'll say is historically green in fight and sort of made it its own by putting in the excess damage statement in a really good way. Like the gaining of red mana, it's good. It's a good effect. Slap it on a Isochron Scepter. I don't know. What do you want to do with this? Just play it, right?
Throw this in every single Dargo deck.
Yeah,
100%.
yeah,
It's kill a
yeah.
thing and get 6 mana.
That's not well four. But I mean, yeah, you get 6 mana. You get 6 mana. You'll have 6 mana
Yeah.
to play with. Fact. Um, it's pretty good. It looks like Dargo is the last Agni Kai. And then the last card I want to bring up is speaking of Zhao the Moonslayer. I kind of like this even without considering the Conqueror counter. So I'm just going to read generic and a red 2/2 menace non basic land center tapped. Just a really solid hate bear. But then you could pay 7 to make Zhao a Blood Moon.
Yeah. Rude card. Rude card is rude.
Rude card is rude.
Worst best part is it's kind of better Blood Moon because those mountains enter tapped. They still enter tapped. They're not basic mountains.
Yeah,
They're
yeah, yeah.
just tapped.
Yeah, so this is interesting. Will they enter tapped? So
They
non-basic.
will because they're still he makes them mountains. He does not make them basic mountains.
Okay. They lose all other
He's
land types and abilities and have tap to add red. We sure?
Yep, 100% sure. That is how that works.
Okay. Okay.
Because they still keep their name. It's just that they are now mountains and nothing else. So they're not basics.
What makes it? What makes it? All other land types and abilities. It's not.
So basic is a super type, but they if they're not basics, they don't gain basic from anything, so they'll still enter
Yeah,
that.
true, true. So it would just be land mountain, but it wouldn't be
Yeah,
a basic land.
yeah. But to
Right.
be fair, if it was a basic, it would enter as a basic, and it would not be affected by the Blood Moon effect.
Sure, sure.
But yeah,
Pretty
so
good.
more rude Blood Moon, and it's funny. I pointed this out to friends, and I'm like, this is the rudest Blood Moon ever because not only if we get the pip change or the hybrid mana change, does this fit into Luris, but also this fits into the Zerta as well
Mm.
because it has an activated ability, so it's a legal Blood Moon in the Zerta deck.
Oh, that's nasty. I like it. I like Zhao. Well, not personally, but he's a good card.
Oh, he's a good antagonist.
Yeah, for
He's a good
sure.
plot device.
For sure, for sure. All right, well, what else you got in red?
One, I have Fated Firepower. This card is X red, red, red for an enchantment with flash. When this enters, you put X fire counters on it, and if a source you control would deal would deal damage to an opponent or a permanent an opponent controls, deal that much damage plus the amount of counters on this card instead. Um, I really like this card just because red has like punish burn effects that have existed for a while. This makes those a lot more brutal in like a random deck like a actually let me check one thing really quick. I just want to look up a card that we may or may not have brought up like 8 times so far. Dang it, Najila makes white warriors. Actually, is that relevant? That's not relevant. Never mind. This in general is just really good because if anything you control does damage, it increases damage. What number does that need to be to make this card worth it? Usually it's 2, so 5 mana to make your things do 2 more damage is pretty good. Um it's just a cool effect. The fact that it has flash makes it a good surprise effect, and in some red burn decks, this is the rudest thing ever. Because if you have an effect like Mana Barbs, where somebody just goes, "Okay, I'm going to tap my lands," and then you go, "You're tapping all your lands at once." Oh, I guess I did. Okay, 8 Mana Barb triggers on the stack. Take 4 per Mana Barb trigger. Take 32 instead of 8. This can do some rude things. This can do some mean things. This is, I think, the best damage increase effect we've had in red outside of the one god, the Oger. But
Yeah.
it's flash, so it's surprising. So cool.
How many fire counters are you trying to put on it?
Usually 2 is all you need to make it a significant effect. It's not going to be something that you see in cEDH, but I think it's good and casual.
Okay, that's fair.
Next, Firebending Ascension. 1 in a red, enchantment. When this enters, you create a 2/2 red soldier creature token with Firebending 1. Whenever a creature you control attacking causes a triggered ability of that creature to trigger, put a quest counter on this. If there are 4 more quest counters on this, you may copy that ability, choose new targets for the copy. So, there's a lot of commanders that have, when this attacks, do stupid things effects. We've said Najila a million times, but we also have Winota. Um, this just gives you extra triggers of on attack effects. There's other commanders that I'm probably overlooking that this is good with, but this just has utility in a couple random decks.
There's 4 more counters on it. Yeah, all of the ascensions are good. I don't know why I omitted this one, but it's solid.
Next, this is a card that is surprisingly good. Firebending Student. 1 in a red. Creature, human, monk for 1/2. It has prowess and Firebending X, where X is this creature's power. This gets really big really quickly and gets you a lot of mana in certain situations. This is kind of like a weird red Selvala. I really like this card. Uh, Also, alternate arts on this card. The internet's already memed because it's like the cheap art that everybody gets, the waifu art that everybody gets, the feet art.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, I'm down for the foot art. What does that say about me? I don't know. The
um,
middle one looks kind of like that one girl from that platforming game. What's her name? She's a genie.
are you talking about Champy or
Yeah, a little bit like Shanty. I almost actually like,
purple hair?
yeah, but also like Jasmine from Aladdin.
Yeah, yeah, I can kind of see that.
This
But
is really good. This
yeah,
would be a great
firebending
cube
student.
card, by the way. This would be a great card in a storm deck.
Yeah, and it. I can see this not being a problem in Modern Burn, but I can see this being a brutal card in Modern Burn because the thing is, it doesn't have to connect to get you the mana; it just has to attack. So if you play this on turn 2, on turn 3, you're playing 3 bolts, attacking with this, and then playing 4 more bolts. Like hand size, you're gonna run out of bolts to
Stuff to do,
play, but
yeah.
like that's a lot of mana and like a decent sized body. Also, if you're playing any buff deck, this just makes a lot of mana.
Yeah, facts. So Gruel, you like
Yeah.
that?
I mean, even mono red. Like mono red's like, give something +3/+0 for 1 mana. And we're gonna do that 30 times.
Aggravated Assault's gonna be one of the easiest win cons. Unfortunately, Aggravated Assault's activated at sorcery speed. So, provided you have a way
Is
to,
it?
I'm pretty sure.
I don't think it is.
Let me look it up. The Pokemon Company just charged me a lot of money.
It is sorcery speed. You're correct.
Yeah, that's one of the
Hellkite
hiccups.
Charger is not though. Hellkite Charger gets around that.
Right. Charger is Gruel.
Mono red. It's a 7 mana. When it attacks, you can pay. I think it's 7, and then you get. It might be 6. Let me. I don't know. Are you looking it up right now?
Charger? No, I just looked at Aggravated Assault. I'm wondering.
Uh,
I'm just wondering
Hellkite
what's
Charger is 6 mana, and it's a 5/5 flying haste that when it attacks, you may pay 7 mana, and then aggravate assault. Untap all your stuff. There's an additional combat after this one. So Hellkite Charger does work with those. It's mono red, but if you're in green, you find it easier. That's probably the way that you break firebending.
I mean,
My my next card though,
not that it needs to be broken.
yeah,
Electro loves firebending. Yeah, he does.
Electro also probably loves Reckless Blaze, and it's a lesson. 5 mana for sorcery. Deal 5 damage to each creature. Whenever a creature you control that was dealt damage by this dies, add a red. This just lets you convert creatures into mana and also wipe the board. Like, it is it going to always be useful? No, but can it be useful? Yeah.
Which one? What was the name again? Sorry.
Reckless Blaze.
Oh, wait. Wait.
This card would be amazing if it wasn't just when your creatures die, but I mean,
Hmm.
beggars can't be choosers. It's just a very nice wrath that is, in a lot of cases, mana positive. Imagine this in Nagila. You just pop your board of like 60 something warriors to get 60 mana.
Damn, I feel like, is that even necessary for Nagila?
No,
I guess she
it's
wouldn't,
not, but it's funny.
suppose she wouldn't dislike it, but yeah, it would be funny.
Uh, Next card, which this card is, in my opinion, funnily enough, probably a Thrasios card. Uh, it is Sozin's Comet. 5 mana for sorcery. It has Foretell for 2 in red, and each creature you control has Firebending 5 until the end of turn. This is really good for Thrasios because if you just like Rog Thras, get a board of like a couple random creatures, give all of them Firebending 5, and then you're making like 40 mana with 8 creatures, which means that you're getting 10 Thras activations for 5 mana. Very good.
Shit, that art's so cool. Actually, I'm just taking this in for the first time. No, it's not bad.
Uh,
But yeah,
Another card I
I
have in
guess
here.
specifically for Thras. Again, there's some other decks that might
Yeah,
appreciate this, like maybe Nahab.
very specifically for Thras is what I thought, but also like Electra. If you have a creature-based deck with Electra, Electra. Um, Another interesting card is Storm of Memories, and this is, I think, the only card in the set with Storm. It is 2 red, red, red for a sorcery with Storm. Exile an instant or sorcery card from your graveyard with mana value 3 or less at random. You may cast it without paying its mana cost. If the spell be put into the graveyard, exile it instead. Yes, this is random, but usually if you're storming off, you're playing everything from grave. It's not hard. Um, so this is just going to be 5 mana, replay your entire graveyard for free.
Of instants and sorceries.
Yes, but usually that's good enough.
Yeah, this feels okay. I was iffy when I saw this the first time because the random element. Obviously, you will probably work around this by having this played on your storm turn. But the sequence in which you play these cards isn't dictated, right? Like it's only it's all random. It is truly all random. So
Correct.
it could muck up the order in which those cards are played, but likely not. It's
I
fine.
will say though that it will all the copies go on. Let's see. It's not target, so it is. You don't know what the next thing that's going to be exiled is going to be
Yeah,
until
yeah, yeah.
after you choose targets for the thing. But to be fair, order usually doesn't matter if you're casting stuff from your grave because it's like, oh, I hit a counter spell. Okay, I'm going to not counter anything. Oh, I hit a cantrip. Cool, I'll draw. Oh, I hit a tutor. I'll tutor. Oh, I hit a removal. I'll use the removal. A lot of the time, you don't care about what you hit. And in the decks where it does matter, it's usually like Electro or Bergie or Urbrask. And at that point, you're just playing the cantrips.
Right, unless you want the tutor top deck tutor into the Wheel of Fortune or something,
Yeah.
then then it's bad. But otherwise, it's probably
Yeah, you
probably
can
okay.
RNG into it. It's fine.
Yeah,
Final card in red for me. Zuko, Firebending Master. This is just a very good card. So he is 2 mana for a 2/2 with first strike. Firebending X, where X is the number of experience counters you have, and whenever you cast a spell during combat, you put a +1 plus. You get an experience counter. Sorry, whenever you cast a spell during combat, you get an experience counter. Um, just kind of a good dork. If you have a deck that cares about doing stuff during combat, cool effect. Not for every deck, but it's just a cool thing that you can put in certain decks.
Agreed. Is it guitar good? Hell no. Is it good? Yeah, it's good. But nothing's really guitar good. All right. Are we moving to green, sir? And gang, if
Yes, we
there's
are.
anything in red we missed, let us know. But I think we pretty much covered our bases there. Let's talk about the sweet little Badger Mole Cub.
The
Uh,
chase card of this set, apparently.
is it? It's a mythic. Oh my god.
It's a mythic and it's like 33 bucks. I think it's the chase card.
Um, 62 if you want the special version. It's good. That's why. It's a generic and a green for a 2/2 Badger Mole. Whenever this creature enters Earthbend 1, so basically you make a 0/0 out of a land, it gets haste, and you put a counter on it. When it dies, this is the coolest part. When it dies or is exiled, return it to the battlefield tapped, so it's like it never left. Whenever you tap a creature for mana, yes, that land's a creature, add an additional green.
It's Kinnan, but without the blue pip, which means that it can be run in more decks.
Yeah, it's pretty dope. I don't know. This is really good ramp, and I'm trying to think. Like, Lotus Cobra is really good. Probably run Lotus Cobra in a lot of situations over this, at least in a commander setting. Um, but whenever a creature's tapped for mana, it's just basically all your dorks are better.
Yeah,
It's just good, man. And also it just doubles one of your lands, right? Effectively giving it like not a utopia, like a wild growth. So good. And again, there's no fear of actually losing the land. So I mean, there's things
yeah.
that can happen
It's
to the land, but they're not going to matter.
if it dies, it comes back. If it exiles, it comes back tapped. Uh, for Hugo, going back to the
Yeah,
Storm of
so
Memories.
I will tell you, Hugo, that I told this to Justin separately. He was considering like adding this to his cube as a potential storm payoff. And for me, I wouldn't say random is ever good. But like Will said, if you're going off, it's probably fine. But I feel like there's probably a better alternative if you're storming.
Yeah,
There's probably a better alternative. I think Will mentioned it because it's notable, but you have other thoughts, I'm sure.
yeah. It's only good in decks where you have a commander that plays off of you casting stuff specifically. Because I don't think that you play it in Gale 1,000 Year Storm or Gale decks in general. I don't think you play it in that, even if you ignore the whole casting from graveyard thing. You specifically play it in a deck where your commander is already giving you a benefit off of you casting things. Like you can play that in Kaikar, and it would probably be fine in Kaikar because you're casting the things from exile, or you casting the things from graveyard. So you're doubling up your storm, you're ramping up your storm significantly faster while getting more value. The thing is with the Storm of Memories, it's random, which makes it a lot harder to consistently use, but it's just another form of storm payoff that accelerates your other storm payoffs. If you're comboing off, it's good. It's random usually doesn't hurt much in it because if you're if you're storming off with that card already, if you're storming off and you play that card, how many instants and sorceries did you have in graveyard already? And the answer is like 3. So the chances of you missing that one instant or sorcery you needed to get back to win is very low. And even if you don't get that one specific one, you still get a ton of value off of the other cards that you get. It's like, am I going to be like, it's the card that makes Storm significantly better? No, not at all. But it is worth playing in Storm decks just by the fact of if you were already storming off, it makes you storm off better, and it will usually end the game if you do play it.
Storm
But
hard.
yeah,
Storm hard, friends.
yeah. If you like, for instance, if you're playing Rog or Tevrog, or sorry, yes, Rog Tev. Um, in that deck, I did you run Past in Flames in that deck? I think you might have in like one iteration. I think
Yeah.
that this is better than past In Flames for that deck, just because you'd hit the black tutors that would let you set up the top of your deck or just tutor an actual thing. The only things that you wouldn't cast are like the sacrifice stuff because you'd have to actually set up for those. But if you just exile the things from graveyard, you're kind of fine with those.
Yeah. My
Like
only
you're fine
qualm
with
is
just spending.
my only qualm is like the randomizing of the effects. Like there's going to be some kerfuffle over this guy. The best way to do it would just be to sort all your instants and sorceries, shuffle in them, and then reveal.
Oh yeah, resolving it's going to be a
Yeah,
headache
someone's going to
because
be
especially if somebody has like a graveyard orders matters
right,
card,
right,
like if
right.
somebody
Shallow
brings
grave.
a Phyrexian
Yeah,
Furnace into a tournament just to be like, you shuffled up your grave, you have to concede.
yeah. God, you're right. You know what? Fine. I need a D63 for my graveyard right now. How am I going to go through all of these randomly? The next card I want to talk about has another Badger Mole.
Oh,
Oh,
Wolfsbane. I when I was talking about Kaikar, I meant the three-color Kaikar that when you cast a thing, you get a spirit that you can sack for red, not the Azorius Kaikar. With the Azorius Kaikar, I think you can put it back to hand because when you cast the thing with Kaikar, it goes back to hand afterwards. I don't know about
do
that.
the cards
I'll
go
have to
back
look.
to hand if you cast it with Krark Trigger?
Oh, with
Krark.
yes, because you're casting the thing from exile. So yeah, if you're storming off with Storm of Memories, the if you fail the flip, you get the thing from grave back to hand basically or exile back to hand.
Yeah, yeah.
Honestly, holy crap. Yeah, no, that's how you abuse the card because it has Storm. So you just get your graveyard back into your hand and recast everything with Krark. That's how you break it.
Okay, so that's the deck that
Okay.
wants it.
Yeah. Rogsai definitely wants that actually.
Rog Sai or Quark?
Rog's sorry.
Quark
Uh
Ashima.
Krark Sakashima, the two Krark.
Yeah, yeah.
Krarkashima, that's what people call the deck. I've not talked about cEDH in forever. Like
You're
actual
good.
cEDH forever.
Well, then it's been a solid 2 weeks too. You're good.
Ugh.
Earthbender Ascension? Maybe you heard of this one?
Under Ascension.
I feel like we've talked about nearly all the Ascensions. It's a true generic and a green enchantment. When this enchantment enters Earthbend 2, then search your library for a basic land, put it into the battlefield tap, then shuffle. There's also a landfall trigger, so win the CTBs if you want to crack a fetch. I don't know, go crazy. Whenever a land you control enters, put a quest counter on this enchantment. When you do, if it has 4 or more quest counters, put a 1/1 counter on target creature you control. It gains trample until end of turn. What a delicious way to wreck a blocker. Bearing in mind that you could just hold your fetch land for whenever you choose to do this. Obviously, I think this is probably the easiest one to just have 4 counters on by virtue of the fact that we're always playing lands and usually 2 when we put 1 land down. The fact that it earthbends your shit and finds you a land, so it's 3 mana ramp. You get a thing that could beat people and do other things because it's now a body, and then you have landfall. There's just a lot of good on one card. I think just 3 mana for the top effect alone is pretty good, and then the landfall just is the icing on the cake. Facts.
Yeah, it's that is that is a very good card. Just yeah,
Did
everything that you said. Stacking counters is going to be very funny and very good.
did you have it written down? I assume so.
Or I actually did not have Earthbending Ascension, but
Oh yeah, it's good.
it's primarily just because I'm like 3 mana to rampant growth kind of felt and the counters but also I'm like, yeah, no, that's really good for casual. Actually, thinking about it a second time,
Yeah, I
it was
don't.
the fact that everything was mixed together. I undervalued it in total.
No, I think it's just a generally good card. But yeah, from a CDH
Yeah,
perspective, maybe not in like your typical CDH deck. But what about Seismic Sense? This shit. Sorcery speed lesson.
bussin', respectfully.
Look at the
She
top X cards of your library, where X is the number of lands you control. Well, probably have a few of those. You may reveal a creature or land card from among them and put it into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. What a great card. Top deck search isn't, again, the sexiest thing in this game. We like tutors that just let you find the thing. But in a lot of cases, I would say that if you dug even 3 deep, this will help you out of a problem. But if you were digging, say, more than that, like, I don't know, maybe you run in a
How many did
Shia
we have in
list.
that one Sandman deck we played for casual? I think we had
Yes.
like 14 lands on average.
Imagine digging 14, dude. That's such a huge chunk of your library. And, assuming you're digging that deep means you've probably gone through a fair bit of your library at this point, right? So there's only so
Yeah,
much
at some
percentage
point, this is
wise.
just a tutor. At
Yeah.
some point, this is just a creature tutor in casual.
Honestly, it honestly is. And it's also just a great way to uh, remove something off the top of your library if you know there's something there. Like, there's some fixing effects that you can leverage this with too. There's plenty of combinations you can run this with, but I think just by itself, it's good. Creature and land, I think, are fine. Again, you're missing some of the major food groups there, but for 1 green, I don't really see you getting much better.
Agreed. Agreed.
Uh, God, that Krakashima app is going to be burning holes in so many phones and tablets.
Oh yeah, true. Yeah, you're gonna cast that one card, which is in itself gonna have the storm trigger, which is then gonna trigger everything else from getting cast in the graveyard,
mm.
and that's gonna make you need to roll even more dice. How many dice are you rolling off of that? Like Grok Sakashima, two dice on the original, and then it's 2 dice per all the other things. You're rolling like 30 dice at some point in that deck.
Mm. Are we talking about Earthbender Ascension in Lumra? The mythic that adds mana on tap is a perfect clone target. The effect adds up. That is a lumber tutor. Oh, the tutor effect. If I'm sure Lumber or Wandering Minstrel could do something broken with it. Yeah. Hell, I mean, I kind of just like it in general, but yeah. All right, well, that's all I got for green.
All right. I have a couple, but a lot of them are just ETB landfall. So first, I had the Cub, but you got that one already. So I'm going to go to Boomy, Eccentric Earthbender. It's just ETB Earthbend 1. The reason why I'm bringing up every ETB Earthbend effect, because I'm going to quickly run through that list, is just because that plus a Shia and any way that to sack a creature or land is infinite. So notable combo, somewhat good. Also removing counters infinitely also can do it with a Shia, but it's another combo in green. So Boomy is a Earthbend 1 on ETB. You have Earthbending Student, which is 3 mana to Earthbend 2 on ETB. Uh, I have a couple other Earthbend things later, but first non-Earthbend card is Elemental Teachings. This is 5 mana for an instant lesson. Search for 4 basics with different, or sorry, 4 lands with different names and reveal them. An opponent chooses 2 of those cards. Put 2 into graveyard and 2 onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle. This is a really good effect because if you're getting the cards into the graveyard, the deck that you usually run this in lets you play lands from the graveyard. So it's just a lose-lose. You're getting your 4 best lands either way. And this is instant speed. So this is like worst case scenario, instant speed, get your third and fourth best land out of your deck and set up for a later turn. Pretty good ramp.
Yeah, not bad. At 5, it does feel a little harsh, but not all
Yeah.
lessons are simple. I'm thinking
Okay.
Earthbend finally fixed the land creature problem in EDH. I think they're viable. Yeah, no, Earthbending's pretty cracked. I don't know. I mean, is Ashaya going to see a resurgence in play? I don't know about that, but these do really help Ashaya a lot. They're all very good.
Yeah. There's a card in this that I'm not bringing up because I'm going to be bringing it up on the tier list. But we have a card that's a really dumb Earthbend effect that makes it's probably bracket 4, not bracket 5. I'll spoil it. It's the Gruul Toff. It does the dumbest crap I have ever seen in Magic because it lets you do landfall. It lets you have infinite creature sacrifices, infinite land sacrifices, infinite counters to remove to random things. It just does everything incidentally. We'll talk about that on Saturday. But my next card, Shared Roots. It is 1 green for a sorcery lesson. Search for a basic land, put it onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle. It's explosive vegetation, but it's a lesson. Good enough. Almost not every, but most green decks run explosive vegetation in casual. This is just another one, and it gives you the lesson buff.
What was it called
So,
again? Shared Roots?
Shared Roots.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, nothing to say. It's good.
Yeah. Uh, Next card, I'm bringing this up because a friend of mine demanded that I bring this up because funny, because I may actually be running this in a cEDH deck. Sparring Dummy. 1 green for a 1/3 defender, artifact creature. Tap, mill a card. You may put a land card milled this way into your hand, gain 2 life if a lesson was milled this way. The reason why this is in here, Sasaya. This is another draw engine for my Sasaya deck. This is the equivalent of a Faadia Seer, which is a draw a card, tap, draw a card, reveal it. If it's not a land, discard it. It's the same thing. It's just inverse. So
You should, yeah.
it's
Yeah, you should run it. It does actually work.
it's funny. The only reason why I don't run Fadia Seer in the newest Society is I don't want the like 1 in 99 chance of milling Cultivator Colossus.
Oh, true, true, true. That would
Uh
suck.
Next is Tectonic Split, which this card legitimately like shocked me because I keep forgetting that this card exists. Then I keep looking back at this card and I'm like, oh my gosh. Tectonic Split is 6 mana for an enchantment. As an additional cost to sack this, sacrifice half of your lands you control rounded up. Hexproof, lands you control have, tap, add 3 mana of any one color. This turns every land you control into Gilded Lotus, and honestly, it's just kind of broken because for the sake of it, how many lands do you need to make this into a ritual? And like if you have 9 lands, you break even. But if you have any other mana rock or anything, you're now net positive. Because if you have 9 lands, you tap 6 of the lands, sacrifice 4 of them, round it up, sacrifice 5 of them, and then the 3 remaining lands you have tap for 9 in total. And now every land you play from here on out is also tapping for an additional 3. So this escalates your ramp by a lot. In addition to the fact that we got earthbending in this set, which means
Yeah.
that you can sacrifice the creature lands, which will then immediately come back, so you're good.
No
Or you can
loss.
play the lands back from your graveyard with whatever effect. So this doesn't even hurt you. This is just a really, really explosive ramp effect. Maybe not like a cEDH card, but it's pretty good for casual. I can
Sithis might
maybe
rock
see
this.
yeah, I could see like maybe Sithis running this because this is not bad ramp for Sithis.
Yeah, I agree with you. Like, I mean, I don't know if Sithis is really on Mana Vault. You could be. But a Mana Vault, a Grim Monolith, stuff like that will help you push this out. Because the 4 generic is easy to accommodate. And you're probably on like
Yeah.
Ancient Tomb and stuff as well. Good way to get rid of the City of Traders without actively losing something.
Yeah. Next, the Cabbage Merchant. Whenever an opponent casts an on-creature spell, you get a food. Whenever a creature deals combat damage to you, you sack a food. Tap 2 food, make a mana of any color. This is just a way to turn your food into mana. There are food decks that exist. This is more of a casual card than a competitive card.
But a fun card.
Yeah,
Makes me want
cool
Cabbage.
card is cool.
Cool card is cool.
Final card, which I wanted to bring up because I already came up with a very fun casual deck for this card, so I wanted to bring this up. But also, this is just a weirdly good card in a lot of decks. The Earth King. This is the only card that I'm going to bring up before the tier list stream as an actual tier deck I'm planning on potentially making casual. He's 4 mana for 2/2. When he enters, you make a 4/4 green bear token, which note that token isn't legendary, so you can't flicker it. Whenever one or more creatures you control with power 4 greater attack, search your library for up to that many land cards and put them onto the battlefield tapped. The idea that I had for this deck is land animation effects and anthems, and then eventually you just make a massive board of creatures that is getting every land from your deck into play very quickly. The reason why this card is really good in the 99, if you are playing any semi big creature deck, you play this, and this is 4 mana, get 5 lands. That's pretty good. That's
Yeah, it is pretty good.
2.5 explosive vegetations.
That's honestly not that bad. In the 99. I like your idea of
Into
it
9.
in the CZ as well, though. That's interesting to note that the bearer isn't legendary. I
Yeah,
guess,
it's. I don't think it's going to be too relevant, but hey, maybe
yeah.
you're playing like a Simic or Selesnya Flicker deck, and then this just is like a weirdly good card for that.
Yeah.
But I can see like a Dragon Tribal deck or something playing this just for the sake of it, because hey, that's a lot of ramp.
Um, Lads and ladies of the audience, green cards. We're accepting any and all of them now. Will multicolor. I have one.
I have one
Unlucky
multicolored.
cabbage merchant. Wait. Only one is legendary, though. The unlucky cabbage merchant is not. That's funny. Anyway, you have what?
I have one multicolor card.
Okay. Is it called? Let me find it. God. Abandoned attachments?
It is not.
Okay, great. Generic and is it? Potentially mono blue, potentially mono red. Who knows?
Huh?
Instant lesson. We love instants that do this, people. You may discard a card. If you do, draw 2 cards. I'm really hoping it's red so that we get the ability to rummage with another card. That's it. That's all I gotta say about that. There are plenty of cards that operate this way. This is one that's a lesson. And instant speed,
Yeah,
which is honestly very good.
it's a lesson. It operates instant speed. We got one from the Spider-Man set that I think is just red, but the fact that you
Yeah.
could pay blue for this is pretty good, and you're probably running the other one in a red blue deck anyways,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
basically the same. The one card I have is a legendary creature, but it's probably never going to be your commander, which is the reason why this is the perfect time to bring up this card, and it's Aang, Swift Savior.
I think
Um,
he's near the top. There he is.
3 mana. It's one, a white and a blue for a 2/3 flash flyer with ETB, airbend up to one target creature or spell. So it's once again, hey, look, it's an airbend creature for Abdel. But also it's a counter spell. It can actually disrupt some stuff. And then Waterbend 8 to transform Aang, and the transform side is a 5/5 reach trampler that when it attacks you put a +1/+1 counter on each tapped creature you control. I don't think you are ever flipping this card over unless you have nothing better to do. But it's pretty much just a counterspell creature that can also ETB Airbend, which makes it the best ETB Airbend card in the set.
Yeah. That or you just want to show off the art. Then you'll transform it. Do you like the Aang and Swift Saver and Aang and Law version that has no text on it?
You're talking about
The Super Primo
yeah,
catch rare version?
it's it's funny because I think we have multiple Angs with this style of art, so people are gonna have to try to recognize what the
Right.
specific type of Ang
I
is
will not.
through just the pips in the name.
I will very much not remember. But that that
I mean, to be fair, I think I'd probably be able to remember the "Are you not entertained?" Ang,
yeah,
the art on the back.
that's fair. Yeah, the Aang is good, and I agree. It's probably not going to see it play in the CZ. You can also flicker Aang to Airbend again.
Yeah,
Facts.
turn any flicker into a counter spell. Yeah. Uh, all right. Do you
Moving
have any colorless cards, Patrick?
just one, brother. You too, I assume.
I have zero. I don't have any that are relevant for me.
Oh wow, there's tokens here. There's an Azula gain experience with Azula token. The hell am I looking at? What are these?
Yes,
Bad
it's
advice?
this is like the what is it called, like the marker cards for the pre-con things.
Well, this is too much. They're really crowding the room here. I have one
Yeah.
colorless spell, and it's a great one. It's a great
I
one.
see.
It's the best spell. Ugh, God, it's not even funny anymore. Bender's water skin. Okay.
I thought you were gonna go for the walls of busting say thing.
No, no. This is an
Yeah.
actual good card here. So it's regenerative.
The
Well,
walls of busting say is a good card. Everything's
so,
indestructible. Nev's disc away.
so for 3 generic, you get an artifact that says add 1 mana of any color. What a shitty. Why would you want a 3 mana? Hold your horses. Before that was a little bit of text that said untap this artifact during each other player's untap step. This is a really good utility for decks that play control. So if you want to generate 1 mana of any color to interact with your opponents, you have that potential. This is quite good. I love self untapping things, and this is one of the better ones. And in the common slot, it's kind of crazy. Jumpstart markers. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I had no idea what those were. That's it, bruh. Bender's water skin. What do you got? Nothing?
Nothing for colorless, but I do have lands. Do you have lands?
You do your lands. Let's see what you got.
All right. Abandon the Air Temple. Enters tapped unless you control basic. Taps for white, and you can pay 4 and tap it to put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control.
Can I guess?
In general,
Oh,
that's a lot of reusable buffs.
yeah, yeah. Can I guess your next land before you say it? Agna Cal. Cal.
No,
I thought you were just gonna go through all the lands that.
no, no, no. Unfortunately, the blue and the black one are not relevant enough. The blue one is draw a card, discard a card, but for 3 mana, that is not great.
No,
Um,
but I mean,
for
frankly, these are all great utility
I'm
lands that will likely enter untapped.
yeah, I will say that the for cEDH purposes, they're not always going to enter untapped. Surprisingly,
Right. The
um,
fact that they need to be basic lands is important. So if you're running like a mono or dual colored list, these are quite good. But I agree with you. Abandoned Air Temple is really, really good. That's a lot of
yeah,
1/1 counters
it
for 4.
usually like put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control is like a 2 mana effect. So having that reusable is really good. Counterpoint, the blue one being draw a card, discard a card. That's like a half a mana effect.
Yeah.
So I'm not,
Yeah. If it was blue to do that, then it would be very good. If
yes.
it was generic in
Um,
a blue, it would be more playable. At this,
Realm
it's
Realm
much.
of Co. Realm of Co makes a 1/1 spirit basically with Shadow. It cannot block or be blocked by non-spirit creatures, but
No,
like it's Memnite. You're just making a slightly better Memnite for 4 mana. Bad.
no.
Um, the next one is probably the best of these lands, which is Fire Nation Palace. Enters untapped if you control basic. Taps for red. You can pay 1 in a red. Target creature you control gains Firebending 4 until the end of the turn. Reason why this is probably the best is one, you can use this with like extra combats to gain a bunch of extra value. This is also just 8 taps for 2 land if you have a way to use the mana instant speed. But also, if you have a way to untap this, you can stack the effect. So it can just get you a lot of mana in one go.
Fact.
It has the most versatility to be broken out of any of the other lands, but like
Despite your feelings on firebending being the worst,
yes,
that's
it just
interesting.
like me saying firebending is the worst. The firebending land is probably the best of the land cycles.
True. I mean, that's a lot
Because
of effect on one activation.
yeah, because I mean, hey, just you give your Thrasios firebending 4 to activate your Thrasios.
Mm-hmm.
Final Bossing Say, and this one is actually
Quite good
somewhat
too.
good. Uh, once again has the same tap condition, taps for green, and you can pay it 2 and a green to tap to Earthbending 2, activate only as a sorcery. Funnily enough, you can Earthbending your Bossing Say. So if you have a way to make it
Sticking that,
enter untap, if you have a way to make it enter untapped, you can do sacrifice loops with this. To just kind of sacrifice it over and over and over and over and over again. That takes a lot of pieces to get it to work, but it does work.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of.
I also do want to point out that with earthbending you can stack the counters on the same thing, so you can just use bossing say to make one land creature really big over time.
Yeah. That's actually pretty dope, actually, because you can reach target the same land. It's not bad.
Yeah. Also, if you have a way of consistently killing your lands, bossing say does also just kind of keep triggering both. It both gives you sack fodder, which is not a green thing, but also give you land ball triggers.
I
So
kind of
bossing
love.
say is just,
Oh, there's the concept
it's
of earthbending in a land destruction deck is really cool because you're the only one
yeah,
who doesn't. You come out relatively unscathed if like partial parts of your land base are, you know, earthbended.
yeah, that is the rudest thing, and honestly, that might be the way that people built that one TOF, the AI art TOF, which I don't know. Have you been part of that whole discussion?
Excuse me. Let me look at her. I know what you're talking about.
Google
I know what you mean. It does look a little funky, and I don't want to insult the artists unless they're a filthy AI using piece of shit.
Uh, the artist has used AI for a decent amount of
You're
artwork.
talking about hard headed
Not like
teacher,
it's not the only artist does, but like the artist is known for using AI for art,
hard headed teacher.
like not uncommonly.
You do mean hard headed teacher.
Yeah, hard-headed
This is
teacher.
the
Yeah,
only art they've done for this game.
yeah.
Um, yeah, it
So
just does look a little.
I
It does look a little funky. That's. I really hate looking at this card. No offense, again to the artist. It's just not my favorite art.
the things that people pointed out of why this is AI art is one, the lighting. People have said like the way the lighting is set up doesn't make sense because the light's coming here on the head, but it's coming here on the shoulder, and then it also is shining on the belt buckle buttons for some reason. The thing that threw it off for me is the back arm, because if you take a look, she has one hand going up like this, but one arm going like this in the back. Like
Yeah, she might
it
have it
physically
behind
does
her
not make
back.
sense on how you.
She might have it
Well,
behind her
the thing is,
back.
it looks like she might be putting it on her hip, but the issue is, look at the interior of her elbow. It's facing outwards,
And it's
meaning her arm is
catching.
bent backwards like that.
Yeah, it does look a little funky. Also, the way the light's hitting that back arm, like the angle doesn't really match the front hand and arm. There's a lot of weird
Correct.
elements to this, and I can't
It
say it's
looks
my
like it's more
favorite.
likely than not AI.
Yeah, could we please get alternative art for this card because it is really good. We'll talk about it later. But
Mhm.
yeah. I think doing that is probably a good way to do like mass land destruction. There's a lot of red land destruction, green, white is
I
sort
don't
of
think green has much, but
no.
I don't think green needs much, considering the fact that red has enough.
Yeah, agreed.
I will say that this is if not the best TOF, it's at least the second best TOF. So this will be a card that people see everywhere.
Agreed. Agreed. All right.
Pot of agreed. Draw two cards. Not using AI art.
Any other lands for you, good sir?
No. The only one that people are gonna probably want somebody to bring up: secret tunnel, secret tunnel, secret tunnel.
There really should be alternative art of them singing Secret Tunnel, but that's okay. Um, they're in this game though, right? The singers.
Yeah, they're a mono red legendary.
All right, guys, we'll end on Secret Tunnel. But that's the Avatar set in a nutshell. I think, summarized this set pretty well. That's not the right word. I think we did a pretty decent roundup here between the two of us. If we missed anything, however, please let us know in the comments afterwards or during the live. That's totally fine. All these comments are viewable after the fact, but we're happy to talk about them. If you think there are singles that work particularly well in your favorite commander, let us know in the chat. We want to know. I did a lot of research, but I still feel like I need to take a gander at which of these I personally want to pick up. But there are a few really good ones that are probably going to go into a lot of decks. Redirect Lightning, I am looking at you.
Yeah, Redirect Lightning is going to be literally everywhere.
Yeah, it's
I will pick up
good.
some of the Abdel cards just because I think that they might be good enough. I think that primarily I'm going to be using the 3 mana Ang and the Iceberg are going to be the two adds to Abdel.
Yeah. I like that you've maintained Abdel over the years.
It's because it just consistently gets better because
Yeah,
they're going to print more Abdel combo cards over time. It's just a matter of time.
yeah. And you got two in one set.
Yeah.
That's not bad. Guys, what's your favorite new card from the set? Let us know. Will, I'll let you close this out. Any final thoughts on Avatar?
Uh, Looking forward to the set. Looking forward to brewing a couple of legendaries. There are definitely a few legendaries that are worth brewing on this channel in the near future. Uh, if you want to pick up any of these cards, use our TCG player affiliate link. If you want to see us brew these cards, we will be brewing them over the next couple weeks until the next set comes out. Considering the fact that I think that's February, we got time. We got
So
time
much
to brew
time,
some
dude.
stuff.
We've got so much time. It's crazy to think. Like we were struggling to catch up with the legends we wanted to brew. Honestly, since Final
Because
Fantasy.
Final Fantasy.
Yeah, there's still a ton that we would want to brew from there. Spider-Man didn't have like a crazy amount we wanted to touch on, but this set does. I know I hear you guys in the Discord about the Grixis Azula. I'm kind of with you on that. I would like to brew that. Jaden says, thank you guys
So
for the content. I watched your Electro deck build, which helped introduce me to some cards that definitely took my deck to the next level. Hell yeah. Yeah, Electro is so okay. So that was one of the decks that I really wanted to brew from that set, and I'm super happy with where that came. And Sandman was actually good. Sandman actually came out pretty decent. Hey, we know how to
I'm
build.
so happy that people were able to see that deck because that was an old deck I had, but it got greatly improved with Sandman the command zone, and people got to see Sasaya in the 99 do work.
Yeah. Dude, I'm so happy about that list. It came out extremely well. But
Yeah.
Electro's a beast, yeah. Dude, I'm excited for the set too. And excited to brew some legends with you guys. But before we get to that, we will be doing a legendary tier list this Saturday. So join us for that. It is promising to be a good tier list. Not as long as Final Fantasy, thank God. But it should be a fun Saturday morning. We'll see you then.
See?